All right, welcome back to the Powers on Sports podcast. You just heard a great spot with Matt Zemek talking all things college football. We talk coaching searches, college football playoff, Choklahoma. Did Baylor run it up on Oklahoma over the weekend? All kind of great stuff. So thanks to Matt Zemek for joining us once again. And without further ado, I'll bring back my man, Drew Fellios. Drew's my buddy down here in Tampa. Does a lot of work, ESPN, does soccer, pickleball, basketball, college football. Welcome back to the podcast, Drew.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that, now you're actually starting to acknowledge the pickleball thing. I remember I told you about that. You laughed at it, and, so did a lot of other people. But it continues to grow, man. It's really been cool riding this wave.
We are going to get to that, so just keep those thoughts. Keep those thoughts. All right, before we get started, it's almost Thanksgiving. What is Drew Fellios in the Fellios household? What's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
My mother makes the best green bean casserole in the entire world. Okay. And I look forward to that every Thanksgiving. I make sure she makes it just the right amount of cheese, just the right amount of flakes on top.
Yep.
Just the right amount of gooiness, those green beans, that taste, put it all together, man. Couple scoops of that. I always go back for seconds. green bean casserole is where it's at. I've never been a big pumpkin guy when it comes to desserts, Jay.
Yeah.
To me, I'm all about
mashed potatoes.
Well, I'm all about when it comes to dessert, like chocolate, vanilla,
cherry cobbler.
Exactly. I grew up working at Village Inn, French silk pies, chocolate cream, banana cream. Just anything cream is good. I'm not a big pumpkin pecan guy for dessert, but yeah, green bean casserole, and then give me a nice piece of French silk pie when it's all said and done. As far as the turkey, dark meat, little gravy on the side, we're good to go.
Tell George to push away from the dessert aisle, please. Tell him to get some laps in on Bayshore.
I'll tell you what, man, he's not the only one. I hope I don't have to shop for a new belt again this year. It's oh
boy,
it's been a very tough
weekend.
Year.
It's a tough weekend.
Been a tough year. Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. All right. Before we get to the sports, you've been in Vegas recently. Tell the audience, Las Vegas, Nevada, to give us the scene of Las Vegas when you were out there last week.
Well, there's some new attractions. This new hotel in downtown Vegas, in Old Vegas, it's called Circa. And Jay, let me tell you, my friend, you've never been. It is a must-see, must-do. The sports book is unbelievable. Stadium seating, massive, big HD screens, unlike anything that you've really ever seen in Vegas. There's some amazing sports books in Vegas, Mandalay Bay and Bellagio and Wynn and whatnot. But this one at Circa is in a class all by itself. And then you've got the outdoor pool, and that's stadium again in a pool. And you've got incredible screens there where you can go outside, watch games as the sun goes down, Monday Night Football, whatever you want to see.
Look at some hotties out at the pool.
And, we're not one to discriminate on this show, but if you're not a perfect 10, you probably can't be a waitress at Circa. I mean, it's unbelievable what they have going there. And man, it's really kind of transformed the scene. So you got Circa in downtown Vegas that's kind of changed the landscape. And then on the Strip, a new hotel called Resorts World. And that has all the hype around it right now as well. So Resorts World has, of course, all the amenities, just amazing, incredible, new hotel. All that said, of course, Jay, the Raiders playing there.
The new stadium
has added a new vibe. You see Raiders stuff everywhere now. So they've really got something to root for. The locals, that's good. That makes the sports scene better. And then T-Mobile Arena, also the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
I mean, they get behind their hockey team as well. Right now, I'll tell you what, man, I love Tampa Bay. I love my hometown. If I did not live in Tampa Bay, I'm going to Las Vegas, no doubt, because the sports scene there is on fire.
Talk about the weekend, just the vibe of people coming, tourism hyped up, because I know COVID, is the tourism back where it's just busy, crowded, all that stuff, or is it still gathering steam?
Mask mandate is still in place inside hotels.
Okay.
They have to wear the mask. If you sit down, if you're at a bar or whatever, it loosens up. They'll let you take it off, take a sip of your drink, have a conversation, whatever. But if you're walking around the casinos, you are required to still wear a mask. Other than that, though, things seem pretty back to normal. Whenever I was leaving Vegas a couple of weeks ago, I was there doing a pickleball event. I got to the airport about an hour and a half before my flight was to take off.
Yeah.
Jay, if I didn't have TSA pre-check, I would not have made my flight. No chance. The longest security line I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
So people are going to Vegas again, and they're enjoying the city. I encourage you to do the same, Jay. We got to get you out there again, man. We were out there a couple of years ago.
I know, brother. We're going to do that. I know you were out celebrating our boy Darren's 40th birthday. Hey, buddy. Give my boy Darren a shout out.
Darren Lozier, producer, Bay News 9.
Tampa market. Yep.
Guy that we're really pulling for has done great. So happy birthday, Darren.
That's right. Big Darren. Big 4-0, baby. Big 4-0. All right. Before we get to the NFL, give me your state of Florida. We had Florida State, Miami played a thriller last weekend. The Seminoles come from 8 down in the waning moments to beat the Hurricanes. Just give me your general state of Florida, Florida State, Florida, and Miami football. Down years for all 3 programs.
Couple factors go into this. Okay. Number one.
And by the way, Drew is a Florida State graduate, so he's going to have a little more, don't be a homer here. Give the truth here on the Powers on Sports podcast.
Oh, without question. You know me. I mean, I'll tell the truth all the time, but I don't think I'm a Florida football fan, meaning not University of Florida, but the whole state. I want to see the state do well. And I think a bunch of factors contributed to the 3 big state schools sort of falling off. One is the emergence of UCF. Okay. Now, I still don't think overall UCF is on Miami, Florida, or Florida State's level overall as a program when you factor in everything.
Yeah.
Okay. But they've been able to get something rolling. Also, USF, even though they've struggled, it's still a major Division I school in the state. Throw in FIU, which right now probably shouldn't even have a program.
Butch Davis just got fired today.
Yeah, it's really bad there.
Yep.
And, one of my good friends, Jeff Carlson, his son's a quarterback down there.
Yep.
I hope he enters the portal. I hope he enters the portal yesterday. I want him out of there because I'd really like to see him succeed. And right now that place is a black hole.
Right.
You've got FAU also, Jay. So, you've got all this football being played. Factor in coaches that are coming and going. You've got, impatient fan bases and booster organizations, and you've got coaches, Manny Diaz, Miami. How long's he going to be there?
Willie Taggart went from Florida State to FAU.
I mean, come on. And he was at USF before that. He's done the triangle. You've got so many guys coming and going. It's hard to establish stability. Remember back in the 90s, Spurrier was Florida football. Bowden was Florida State football.
Yep.
Dennis Erickson.
Larry Coker was there for a while.
Exactly. You had coaches to depend on. You had assistant coaches that knew their recruiting base. Now, when you've got so much change, Jay, how can you establish any kind of continuity? And it's hurt the Sunshine State. Other coaches like the Sabins and the ones, up north.
Kirby Smart.
That's
Georgia,
right. Other guys have come into the state.
Dabo Sweeney.
And they've been able to capitalize on the inconsistency of Florida football. So that's why I think these teams are where they are. Now, there's deeper issues. Miami, I've said it all along. This is 2021. You got to build a stadium somewhere close to
upgrade
campus.
the facilities. The on-campus the facilities are just below par.
Wake up. Okay. Manny Diaz is a native son there. Okay. You've gone through every option as head coach. If this guy can't get it done, who are you going to bring in? What are you going to do? Bring Butch Davis back now? Come on.
Lane Kiffin. Bring Lane Kiffin home, baby.
I'm telling you. But Jay, I've done games down there. I just don't think you can sustain something over the long haul if you don't have a stadium close to campus.
Right.
It means a lot. And this is 2021. You got to make that happen.
And bad news for Manny Diaz's future. Miami fired their AD today. So who'd been there 8 years and obviously hired Manny Diaz. So the writing's probably on the wall for Manny Diaz.
I'll say this though. I went to school with Manny Diaz.
We did. We both did. We both
Absolutely.
did.
He was a writer at the FS View, the newspaper
Yeah.
for Florida State. Whenever I was getting involved in radio, we played basketball together almost every day. I know his father's a big shot in that city.
Yeah.
He's a native there. If anybody can blend in and can sell a new athletic director, it's Manny Diaz.
I mean, I hope so too. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. But bad loss on Saturday in Tallahassee. You had the lead late, and you let Florida State score twice in the last 4 minutes to beat you in a game you have to win. What are your thoughts, Mike Norvell? Very, very up and down 2 years. Is this guy capable of being at a big program?
I really like him. I do.
Do
I
you?
think he's trying. I think he's got the right idea. Definitely. I think the whole quarterback issue is a big deal. Trying to find his guy this year back and forth. But
how are you, Florida State, and Miami? And you can't find an elite quarterback in this country. How? Back when we were there, the elite of the elite came to those three schools to play quarterback.
Lots of reasons for that, Jay. All these high school coaches are running these wacky offenses now. That has something to do with it as well.
How can we not get one of them?
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson. How do we not get a Deshaun Watson kind of guy at Tallahassee and Gainesville or Miami? I mean, I don't get it. As many players that are coming out of the state of Florida, we can't find a Dante Culpepper, a freaking, who picked the name? I mean, come on.
It's really been a head scratcher. That's the problem. And you're right. Haven't had a great quarterback in this state in a very long time.
I mean, geez. I mean, God, that's the part that drives me crazy. How can you not find a quarterback in this day and age? Because you have to have one in college football, just like the NFL. If you don't have a quarterback, you ain't got a chance.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a quarterback that plays in this state, again, you're getting out recruited. And a lot of these coaches coming and going, you don't have the consistency. And you can't follow a kid from the time he's a freshman to the time he graduates high school if you got three coaches during that time at the college level flip-flopping and going all over the place. That's been the problem. Unfortunately, these coaches have had to learn the hard way, Jay. They've had to learn the hard way.
No, you're right. And the parity in college football is when UCF can almost be when UCF can almost be a competitor of Florida and Florida State, that's a problem for those other three schools. Because those other three schools ought to be at least one or two notches above the UCFs of the world all the time. And I hate to say that, but that's how that has to be the goal. All right, one more college football note. You're familiar with Lincoln, Nebraska, and the Nebraska fan base. Scott Frost just can't. I like what he's doing there. That's a guy that he is getting close. Your thoughts on the Nebraska program? You're very familiar with that area. You've been sports director in Lincoln for many years. Your thoughts on the Nebraska program struggling to find its footing with Scott Frost?
Now, that's a guy, I think, he's lucky to keep his job, but I'll say this to his defense.
Playing hard.
It is so much harder to win in Lincoln than it is at UCF. Okay? When in Lincoln, I'm telling you, man, I covered the high school market all through the state of Nebraska. I went to so many camps during the summer. I looked at the talent around.
In the state of Nebraska.
In that entire state, you've maybe got about maybe a dozen to 20 guys that are elite players in the whole state.
Right.
Okay. So you just don't have the crop of guys. And I think Frost has had to adjust to that. And I think there's a little bit of Frost. Scott is a very, he believes in his way. He's had a lot of things instilled in him.
Right.
Bill Walsh, Tony Dungy, he's had some great mentors along the way, but he's very straightforward, and it's good, but it can also be a detriment when things kind of go off the rails. You got to be willing to listen and to change a little bit and to try some new things. And I think he's gotten a bit of an education on that in his time in Lincoln. I think it'll be for the better. I will say this guy wants to do it more than anybody else. I think he deserves another chance.
He's a native son. He played there. Osborne loves him. They all want him to. Trev Alberts is now the AD there.
Yep. It's unfortunate you got to fire all these assistant coaches to eventually get an opportunity. It's like, you're sacrificing people, it's almost like, it's almost like, Sopranos or, what, it's, hey man, what's up? You're patting a guy on the back and then you're stabbing him, no, it's that's just the business of college football, unfortunately. But Frost is a good guy. I think he'll eventually get it done, Jay. I think he deserved another chance, but again, he's a very young head coach. He's still learning.
And it's a tough place to recruit big time skill athletes, especially. You can get the linemen there and the defensive linemen, but getting the skill guys to come to Lincoln, dead of winter in Lincoln is tough.
Absolutely. Saw that firsthand.
Yeah, you did. All right, let's go to our local Buccaneers. Your thoughts on the 2-game losing streak? Do you think it's just a bad couple of weeks, or do you think there's long-term problems that are developing with the Buccaneers?
Starting to develop some concern.
Are you?
With Tampa Bay, no doubt. Every time I watch the Bucs, either two things are happening. A guy is being carted off the field or a guy is jumping off sides.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Or a late hit, untimely late hit, something
like that. And it is concerning, I will say. You start to think about, okay, maybe it's just one of those years where we just can't get everything going at the same time. Now there's plenty of time. Keep in mind, I think the extra week of football is going to help the Bucs late. It's going to give them an extra week to get healthy.
Yep.
Before the postseason. I think they're going to give everything they have late in the season, but it is concerning, no doubt. The defense has been the biggest letdown. I mean, when I'm sitting there watching them, and I don't have any confidence in the second half that they're going to stop
Taylor Heineke.
Come on. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We gotta find a way there. And just too many instances of that. You know, this is a Super Bowl defense here. We've got to be able to get off the field on third down. We cannot let this guy pick us apart. It's been unfortunate to watch, but you know, the good news is
plenty of time.
A lot of football left. Yep.
The good two things. They have an easy schedule down the road. They only got 2 really hard games. They got Buffalo at home and they go to Indianapolis, but the rest of their schedule is very manageable. I just think they've got some complacency setting in. A lot of older guys, veterans. They won last year. They brought everybody back. I think there's some complacency of they think they can just turn the switch whenever they want to. And you can't take that attitude throughout the whole year.
Jay, I'm going to throw this in too. What I think is the most overrated thing and overly said thing when talking NFL is whenever experts like yourself say that the Bucs have an easy schedule the rest of the way. Listen, man, this is the NFL.
True.
Nobody, everybody shows up and plays their best against the Bucs. We've known that in the past. Okay. The Bucs go on the road, no matter where it is in the NFL, they're going to get the best shot of the opponent. Those are the games that scare me the most. I mean, the Bears have knocked us off in the past. It happened with the Redskins this past week. I mean, it can happen with anybody, man. The Colts, I don't feel confident when we play like we did Sunday that we can beat anybody in the league.
No,
so
you're right.
I just don't think the road to the postseason is going to be easy. And I don't think, well, the schedule's easy. I don't get comfort in hearing that, because to me, the Bucs have a history of playing down to their competition.
No, that's a great point. No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Underdogs are killing it in the National Football League. The underdogs, if you're a player out there, lots of underdogs are hitting, a lot of covering the number, all that stuff. Out in Vegas, was there any good stories of somebody going crazy at the sports book on a bad beat while you were out there for the couple days?
Oh man, I was out there in the middle of the week, so I didn't see anything going on. I tried to stay away from that, but yeah, man, you're like dangling, you know, the forbidden fruit in front of my face. I've actually taken a little bit of time away from that. Okay. But I do hope to get back in here now towards the holidays as college football and NFL football starts up. No, I think, you know, the Bucs, a lot of times I bet with my heart and not my head.
Sometimes,
that's the problem. But a lot of these lines with Tampa Bay, you know, Bucs have not covered. They're so high.
Kansas City, everybody loves Kansas City, the Cowboys, all the favorites, and Vegas loves when everybody bets on the favorites.
Exactly. So that's been, I think, the big story of the year so far.
All right, let's get to the Rowdies. And people don't know, Drew is the voice of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, the USL team down here in Tampa, one notch below MLS. Talk about your Rowdies. I'm wearing your Rowdies shirt for you tonight, brother. Supporting the Rowdies. Give the audience a little overview of the Rowdies, where they're at in the playoff run.
Well, let me tell you, man, one thing I know about the Rowdies too, last week at the game, I went down to the team store. Jay, I'll pick you up some paraphernalia, man. They have got some awesome gear.
They do have some stuff.
hoodies. I mean, nice collared shirts,
T-shirts, dry fit.
I'm gonna rate it this weekend. So I'm definitely gonna pick up some goodies. So maybe I'll pick you something up, Jay, this weekend for having me on Powers on Sports. But right now, man, it's this is the clutch time for this franchise. Okay. What happened, I think, a few years ago is our ownership, whenever they took over the Rays ownership, Stu Sternberg, Matt Silverman, Brian, all these guys, I think
bought the franchise.
I think there was some communication with the Rowdies brass, general manager Lee Cohen, head coach Neil Collins. Guys, go win it.
Yeah.
Go win this thing. Prove that you can be a legit soccer franchise. And who knows what can happen after that in Tampa Bay. So we've gone out. This coach we have is just crazy good. He's built this team now over the last 4 years. And this year, I think we're legitimately the most talented team in the league. Now, can we win 2 more games?
Semifinals this weekend.
Semifinals. So this is the Eastern Conference final. We've got Louisville. We beat Louisville. They go by Louisville City. We beat them last year in this game at their place. Now they're coming to our place.
Right.
I think we're ready for them. I think the Rowdies can do it. It's going to be a ruckus crowd at Al Lang. Tampa Bay has got so many weapons. They've got the big guy up top, Steven Dos Santos, who should be playing this weekend. Seba Guanzati right next to him, one of the top goal scorers in the league. We're stacked in the midfield, Jay. We got guys who can distribute. This Jan Ekberg guy is outstanding. He scored the game-winning goal on Saturday night. We've got a back line that is, MLS international caliber and Forrest Lasso leading the way. Jordan Scarlett, another. Aaron Guillen on the other side. And we've got a goalkeeper by the name of Evan Loro, who comes from the New York Red Bull system, who has just been a wall this year. So all the pieces are there. And this is Tampa Bay Rowdies' moment. I think when the Lightning and the Bucs and the Rays were doing their thing, Rowdies, always kind of flying under the radar. But now this franchise is ready to step into the forefront, to get on that big stage and show Tampa Bay they are a championship franchise. And if there is soccer fever here and everybody can feel it throughout downtown St. Pete and beyond, who knows where the soccer brand, the Rowdies, the iconic name, who knows how far it can go in the future.
Oh, it's a beautiful setting at Al Lang Stadium overlooking the water. I've been out there many times. I was out there earlier in the year. It's a great venue. Obviously, the weather's tremendous down here. Saturday night? Are they playing Saturday night?
Saturday night. Yep. Prime time.
You can go to Rowdies.tampa. Just Google the Tampa Bay Rowdies. You can buy tickets. Again, it's a very easy drive down to St. Pete. Reasonable parking. You can find places to park. And you're right. The merchandise is excellent. They've done a great job. Pre-game. Where can they stream the game anywhere online to hear you?
Absolutely. ESPN Plus is where you can watch the game. There should be some tickets available. I know they're getting real close to a sellout now. You go to rowdysoccer.com, the website where you buy tickets. And again, it's just a great setting.
If they win this week, are they hosting the championship game?
Jay, if they win this week, they are hosting the USL Championship Cup the following week. So they're the number 1 seed in the entire league. They did it by doing it in the regular season. That's how good this team has played. So this is it. This weekend, next weekend, try and make one of those games. Hopefully they win this weekend, because the atmosphere of both nights is going to be off the charts.
At least if you can't make it in person, obviously stream Drew. Drew does an unbelievable job calling the games. Who's your partner? Ryan Collins?
No, his name is Ryan Davis.
Ryan Davis.
Ryan Davis from Trinidad. Ryan is a hoot. He's great to listen to. Fans absolutely love him. Just listen in if you're at home. ESPN Plus. Saturday night, we're going to bring you the call.
Yeah, you guys do a tremendous job. A couple more things, we'll get you out of here. Major League Pickleball. Those of you that don't know Drew, again, Drew is one of the big voices of the pickleball tours around the country. Drew's been all over the country this fall, covering pickleball tournaments from Las Vegas, Texas, where else? California. You've been all over the place doing pickleball events. You were on CBS Sportsnet a couple weeks back. Great job on the call. You live pickleball at the Dallas, Austin area. Talk about Major League Pickleball.
Unbelievable atmosphere. Last Monday night, a week ago, just outside of Austin, Texas, a place called Dreamland. here we are, Jay, on CBS Sports Network in what felt like a little circus tent that could seat probably, I'd say, about upwards of 500 people. Not a seat in the house, though, packed to the rafters, and people standing alongside, packed in, watching the competition.
Yep.
It was team pickleball, came down to 2 teams, and back and forth it went, point after point. I've never been a part of something like that.
I watched it. It was great. It was great.
It was on, Jay, it was live TV, CBS Sports, and now, from what we understand, a lot of the networks are starting to look and be like, whoa, because the atmosphere and the energy was so on fire, and these players,
the action
stories,
too. It's constant action, back and forth.
Yeah, and Jay, it's really the person next door. You know, you've got a basically a child, 14 years old, Anna Lee Waters, dominating the women's scene and beating players that have had seasoned college careers and that have played tennis all over the world. This kid's 14, and she's taking it to him. And then on the men's side, you've got a 22-year-old by the name of Ben Johns, right now the #1 player in the world, a guy who mentally, I'm telling you, Tiger Woods and Tom Brady all rolled into one. That's what this guy is. He is ridiculous off the charts. And a lot of these tennis players, I think, are starting to come into the game, Jay. Yeah. It's athletic. It's fun. It's good natured. The athletes are accessible. The people have a great time. This product, man, is shooting to the moon.
I love it, Joe. I've been telling you, I've been playing for about the last 6 months. It's great exercise. It's great reflexes, hand-eye coordination. Playing, I mean, I've been playing. I love it. And you're the one that got me into it, so I got to give you full credit. And you know, the girl Lee Waters, she teams up with her mom, right? Her and her mother are the doubles team.
That's right. Lee Waters is the mother. Anna Lee Waters is the daughter.
14.
Now I talked to the father, Jay, and he is actually friends with, I believe, the former caddy of Tiger Woods. Okay. And he spends a lot of time with the Waters family. And he told him, your daughter is more locked in and focused than Tiger was at her age. Wow. That's how good and talented this girl is. So the name Anna Lee Waters, you're going to be hearing it a lot. And it's funny. She loves the game of soccer, but I think as time goes on, she's going to realize pickleball is where it's at, because what she's doing right now, Jay, she's knocking down 6 figures. Wow. Playing in pickleball tournaments all over the country. And Jay, she's just scratching the surface. I mean, this thing is going to continue to blow up. The prize money is just going to get higher and higher and higher.
And as soon as you guys get that big TV deal, that's when the sport's going to really explode, when you're on TV every week. And brother, you'll be the voice. You do a hell of a job. I mean, again, I implore the audience, check it out. Go with YouTube. There's YouTube live feeds and all these tournaments that you guys have. CBS Sportsnet's involved. You're going to see ESPN get involved here pretty soon, or Fox Sports. One of these guys is gonna sign a deal with one of these leagues.
Well, last week I was supposed to be out there, Jay, in La Quinta, California, but unfortunately I had the Rowdies and I had another event here in Daytona that I couldn't get out of. But basically, Fox Sports 2 televised it, and our contract for the PPA in 2022 is going to be featured on Fox Sports 2. We'll also be on Tennis Channel as well. Yep. And as you said, CBS Sports Network will be picking up events from time to time. So we're locked in right now, Jay. Keep playing the game, and maybe we can get you on the mic, Jay, for one of these events. I'm telling you, it's a great experience.
Yeah. And one of our good friends, Scott Golden, a guy that I've known for a long time, he does some broadcasting with you in some of these events. So, yeah, I know you and Scott do some stuff together throughout the year. Last thing, and I'll get you out of here. Kevin Cash wins Manager of the Year for the Rays. Randy Arozarena, Rookie of the Year for the Rays. Just your thoughts on that whole organization. And I know you have some working relationships with the Rays. I get it. But is Kevin Cash the man for this job to bring a World Series to Tampa Bay?
I think he is. Yeah. I mean, how can you not like Kevin Cash? You know, he's everything that's right about baseball. He's a good guy. He loves the game. He doesn't have the ego. He's got a lot of Joe Madden qualities. And, you know, he's that guy, I think, who will stay for a long, long time. I don't see him saying, you know, that he wants to get out of here anytime soon. I think he's in for the long haul. Some of the big game decisions.
Can we stop making every decision based on what the paper says? Can we make some decisions based on your baseball pedigree, Kevin? That's all I ask.
Still, Jay, listen, I'm a big game or big event, whatever you like to call it,
Analytics. Come on, please.
I've sat courtside, field side, whatever you want to call it, to a lot of competitions in my life, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And one thing I know is that in the biggest moments, when you've got the best athletes in those moments, you put it in their hands and you let them decide the game.
Yes.
The Blake Snell move
Yes.
a year ago, I think was not the right move. Now others will disagree and say, well, that's not what got him there. But you have to understand the moment is different than it is in August during the regular season. But I think if we can learn from those things, I think this guy, you got to keep him in that chair, man. The stuff he's done with the Rays has been incredible over the last few years.
No, nobody's saying to fire the guy, but come on, Kevin, when it's playoff time, you got to make some decisions based on what you see with your eyes, not what the piece of paper says all the time. I get it. In the middle of June in Kansas City on a Tuesday night, go with what the piece of paper says. I get it. But when it's crunch time, the Red Sox are up in the 8th inning. Don't go to the bullpen if your guy's mowing them down.
That's right. That's right. And I think it's interesting, man, seeing what's going to unfold in the coming years. This is another conversation, Jay, but the stadium issue with the Rays, the Montreal talk, everything, that right now is the most interesting thing. I keep up on it. I read on it. And, we pray that our baseball team stays here and is in the best situation possible.
And give the Rays full credit for the amount of money that they're whatever the reasons are. And there are lots of different reasons of how much they spend and why they spend what they spend. But they get more out of their players, both in the farm system and at the major league level, than any team in the league relative to their payroll.
Yeah.
And that's a credit to Kevin Cash for developing those guys and keeping them fresh and not injured and all that stuff. So
and Jay, we thought when Joe Madden left that he was a once in a lifetime guy. We'd never have another guy like that. And here we are. We have a guy who's probably better.
Yeah.
So for those reasons, Kevin Cash, good job, my man. But just in those big games, maybe you're right. Put the piece of paper away and trust what you see.
That's it. All right. We'll get you out of here. Tell everybody where they can find you online and all that good stuff. Drew Fellios.
All right. Hey, ESPNU Friday night. I'll be broadcasting from Disney as Iona takes on Liberty. Rick Pitino coming to the Walt Disney World Resort. So that'll be a great opportunity on Friday. Be sure and join me then. And then Saturday night, ESPN Plus, Tampa Bay Rowdies, Louisville City, going head to head. So Friday, Saturday, ESPNU on Friday, Saturday night, ESPN Plus. And you'll find me up and down on those channels, and also be doing a lot of basketball, Jay, in the late November and the months of December as well, coming at you. Lots of big high school showcases coming up.
Awesome, man. Drew Fellios does great work. Great friend of mine. We've known this guy for 35 years, from all the way back at Pat Acres in Town and Country, brother.
that jumper's gone, though. I will say that is gone. There's no more of that.
You can go out there, bro. You can get out there and start shooting again. Come on.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe one day. We'll see.
Well, Drew, appreciate you joining us from the hotel in Daytona on short notice. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk real soon, my man.
See you, bud.
All right. We'll be right back for the close of the Powers on Sports podcast.